copycat fast food. That's when I started making a lot of Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys some copycat fast food recipes. So today I'm going to be making 3 recipes of things that are some of our favorite takeout items. Actually, one of them's discontinued, and then 2 of them are just higher point items that we're definitely making a little bit lower point today. They're more filling at home, and I use a lot of the ingredients that are just lower point that I use in my day-to-day cooking. And that's just one of the things that helps us to stay on track with our journey. When I started my weight loss journey in April 2020, I had previously been eating takeout and fast food 1 to 2 times a day. I was eating it all the time. I craved it all the time. And so when I started WeightWatchers, I needed to find a way to kind of satisfy that craving, but also stay within my points and reach my goals. So that's when I started making a lot of copycat fast food meals at home, and it allows me to just make more filling servings with the ingredients I like to use, and it tastes just as good, if not better sometimes. We just like to do this. It helps us a lot to stay on track. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let me get into what I'm making today. Today I'm really excited. I really just want to eat these things because I'm making 3 of mine and Adam's favorite items overall from different places. What I'm making today, for Adam specifically, he loves Dave's Hot Chicken and their chicken sandwiches. They have sandwiches that are not too big or small. They're kind of like sliders, but when you order them, you get 2 and fries. I think you get coleslaw. I don't know if you get it on the side, but I know you get it on the sandwiches. You also get a big container of sauce, and we calculated that 2 of the sliders, which is the meal that we usually get when we go there, is 41 points or 42 points on WeightWatchers, and that doesn't really include the extra sauce that we add on. Even 21 points for 1 sandwich is pretty high, so I'm gonna be making a lower point version at home today. I actually already got started on the chicken. I got 2 things of chicken at the store because I figured I would just make some extra to have in the fridge. So I got some regular chicken breasts in here, and then I also have some thin sliced, which I just think work better for the sandwiches. This has actually been marinating in my fridge today for a couple hours. It's some milk that I added vinegar to make it a buttermilk. Then I added some hot sauce and some pickle juice, and I will put all of the recipes in the description of this video down below. But that's the chicken I'll be using, and I'm just gonna coat it in some egg and then some flour and panko mixture with some different seasonings. That'll all be in the description. And with the Dave's Hot Chicken sandwiches, there's a slaw. So I'm gonna make a lightened up slaw using a little Greek yogurt and some sauce we have here. And then usually it's on a potato roll. So I found these at the store and they're 4 points each. I thought they would be perfect. They look pretty comparable to the ones that they use at Dave's. So that's the hot chicken sandwich we're gonna be making, which I'm also gonna make a sauce with some chipotle Cholula in it, which is similar to the sauce they have. Although theirs has sugar in it, I'm not gonna add that, so it'll be a little bit different, but still will be a sauce option. Then the recipe that I'm making for me that's one of my favorites is Potbelly chicken enchilada soup, which is actually something that's discontinued. They don't make it anymore, but it used to be my favorite when I worked there, and even after, that was like the one thing I would still go back to get. And honestly, it's not super high point. It's 9 points in WeightWatchers for the bowl of the soup, so I think mine will be kind of comparable. And the way I'm gonna make it is gonna be very similar to the way I make chicken tortilla soup, but what I like about the chicken enchilada soup from Potbelly is that it's kind of creamy. So I'm also going to be adding in some creamy garlic and herb Laughing Cows, and then some shredded reduced fat cheese. I think the cheese is what really makes a difference. That's something I'm excited for because I haven't had it in years now. They haven't had it for a while. I really enjoy that soup, and it'll be nice to make a batch that I can have some leftovers of. And then the last thing I'm making is something that Adam and I both really enjoy. It's from a place that was at Adam's school at Illinois State University, and it's called DPdough, and they make different calzones. And the one that we're gonna be making at home today is a Mac Daddy is what it's called. So it's got mac and cheese and hot dog, and it's in a calzone. So the calzone I'm gonna be making is gonna be with 2 ingredient dough. I've got my Chobani plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I'll use some all-purpose flour, baking powder, and maybe some seasoning like garlic salt. And then inside of it, I'm going to add some turkey dogs, which I was kind of upset because I usually prefer the Applegate turkey dogs. I think they're only 1 point for a link. These were the only ones I could find, and they're 4 points for a link, but it'll still work. And if you have a lower point option, you can definitely use that. This will still be a lower point option than the one we usually get from DPdough, which the entire calzone is 26 points on WeightWatchers. So we'll see how high this will be. I'm gonna be making this for the mac and cheese. So this is Guddles, and I'm not gonna use the whole box for them, so I'll probably have some leftovers, but I'm gonna get started making this right away so it can cool so that I can use it as the filling in the calzones. So that's what I'm gonna be making today. Like I said, recipes will be typed out I'll have points and nutrition info and stuff like that, but these will just be lower point options, which I'll give the wrap up with those at the end of this video. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started cooking because I'm hungry. So first thing I'm starting with is making the mac and cheese. Also, I'm going to be adding some shredded chicken to the soup, and I was kind of upset. I wanted to just buy rotisserie chicken that was already shredded at the store, and they didn't have it. So I'm gonna be making my own chicken, which is totally fine. 0 points on WeightWatchers. I just have chicken breast here, and I'm gonna cook it in a pan on the stove. Then I'm just gonna pop it in my KitchenAid to shred it up, and that will be the shredded chicken in the chicken enchilada soup. Actually, now that I think of it, I don't think it's shredded in the one from Potbelly. I think it's chunks. So maybe I'll even chop it up into small chunks. I might just do that. But that's what I'm gonna be doing for the chicken for the soup, and those are the two things I'm gonna go ahead and start with first. For the brine, I actually had some pickle juice left in the fridge. I had 2 pickles left, so I just ate those while I was making this. And then I added a cup of milk, some hot sauce, and some seasonings. I'm not usually good at preparing things earlier in the day for recipes I'm going to be making later, but this is an important step and really makes a difference with these chicken sandwiches, so I made sure to get it done earlier, and it had a few hours in the fridge to rest. I was happy I actually went with the regular chicken breast that I cooked myself instead of rotisserie chicken. I feel like it was a little bit more similar to the Potbelly soup that I used to get, and I seasoned it pretty well, which gave it some good flavor in the soup. Once I had the veggies cooking for the soup, I started to set up the stations for the chicken sandwiches. In one bowl, I just have eggs and some salt and pepper, and then the other one is all-purpose flour, panko, and some different seasonings. The different seasonings I used were paprika, cayenne, some garlic powder, and then I also had a kickin' chicken seasoning that I used a good amount of. And the veggies for the soup have just been cooking, but once they're softened, I can start to add some seasoning, which I add some cumin and garlic powder, as well as 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and I just mix that until it is all pretty much coated. I wanted the calzone to taste the most similar to the regular calzone that we get from DPdough, so that's why I just went with all-purpose flour for this, but you can use whatever flour you prefer. I also like to do whole wheat or sometimes half whole wheat, half all-purpose, and then sometimes I just need to adjust the amount of yogurt that I use. And while I was making the 2-ingredient dough, the chicken was just baking in the oven, so I just used tongs to flip those halfway through the cooking. It's definitely important to let the mac and cheese cool just a little bit. It makes it a little bit easier to work with the 2-ingredient dough, because if you're using a hot ingredient, it can make it a little bit more complicated. It's already kind of hard enough to work with. So I made sure to let that cool fully, and it was perfect. And I didn't cook the hot dog ahead of time because I knew it would be baking in the oven. I just used my fingers to kind of pinch the dough to seal it so that nothing comes out, but with these really weren't that messy, so it didn't have to be too perfect. And once those were done, I just sprayed them with some nonstick olive oil spray and sprinkled a little bit of garlic salt on them. And when you're making this slaw, if you're not a big fan of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, you could definitely use a reduced fat sour cream or a light mayo. It's just fewer points if you use the Greek yogurt, and it adds some extra protein. So that's usually why I prefer to use the Greek yogurt in these recipes. I don't really mind that little bit of a tangy flavor. I feel like it's covered up with some of the chipotle and stuff. But if you don't prefer it, you can definitely use some different substitutes and kind of just mess around to make a slaw or a sauce for them. Okay, everything is done and we're gonna go ahead and give it a try.
I'm excited.
It's kind of hot, but we can't even wait.
Yeah.
So, first thing we're gonna start with is the soup. I feel like that's cooled down the most. It definitely could be a little bit more creamy, but it really does look like the Potbelly enchilada soup. And I'm glad I remembered to cut the chicken into chunks. I was gonna shred it, but this is more similar to the actual Potbelly soup. I feel like it looks like it and it smells like it. Let's try it.
I'm excited.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's like spot on.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I miss this soup. Doesn't it taste like it?
That's so good.
The Laughing Cows, or the cheese wedges, melted perfectly. They were like the Aldi brand, but those gave it a good creaminess. I think you could also add a little bit of sour cream, and that would be good, or like Greek yogurt, or more cheese. But the bowl serving of the chicken enchilada soup at Potbelly was 9 points on WeightWatchers. This one came out to 3 points, and I ended up making a bigger batch, so I would say this is about 6 servings, maybe 8 cup servings if you do like 6 bowl servings. It's a decent amount, 3 points versus 9 is definitely a good difference, and it satisfies that taste. Like I said, the Potbelly soup wasn't even that high point. It's just that they don't make it anymore. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit on the creamier side. I think this is good though. I think I could add a little bit more cheese maybe.
This is really good.
Okay, the next thing we're going to try is our hot chicken sandwich. I didn't make it too spicy. I kept the spice level a little bit on the more mild side, but you can add more hot sauce. I made the slaw using some Greek yogurt, some of this chipotle Cholula sauce because their sauce is made with chipotle sauce. And then I also made a sauce that has some chili honey, which we got from the farmer's market. So we've got that on there. So the regular Dave's hot chicken sandwich is 21 points on WeightWatchers, and this one here is 6 points today. And it looks bigger, honestly, but
Mine's massive.
yeah, Adam took one of the bigger chicken breasts. I took one of the thin sliced ones. Cheers.
Cheers.
What do you think?
That slaw is perfect.
It is good. Okay,
very
definitely has a kick to it. I don't know which thing.
I think it's gotta be the sauce with the
Yeah,
honey.
I feel like the chicken is nice and juicy.
Very good.
The slaw is really good. Definitely a little different than the one they have because the one they make has kale in it.
Yeah, which I kind of prefer this better too.
I was just gonna say, I knew you didn't really like the kale. I don't really prefer the kale, so using just like a regular coleslaw mix just worked better. But I was even looking at some of the pre-made salad mixes. They have like kale crunch salad mixes, and I thought that would actually be perfect as a slaw for this. If you didn't even want to worry about dressing, so you could make the like pre-made bags.
Yeah.
But okay, you can't even wait. You just want to
No,
try
I
it.
want to make sure I want to make sure
No,
I cut
I see you
it. I
excited.
want to make sure I cut it.
Okay, so the next thing we've got, the last thing, is this calzone. I was hoping. Oh yeah, okay. There was a little cheese pool.
Way better than mine.
So this is the Mac Daddy. I could have probably mixed up the mac and cheese with the hot dog bites a little bit better, but this looks really good.
It's so hot. Look at it steam.
Right? Okay, so the Mac Daddy calzone, I would say this is about the exact same size as the one that we get from DPdough.
Yeah.
And the one there is 26 points for the entire thing. It's 13 for each half. This one is 14 points for the entire thing. So each half is only 7 points. And yeah, it looks really good. I'm so excited. Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
Tastes like the Mac Daddy.
That's really good.
It's not as greasy because I think they like fry theirs or whatever, but still really good, of course.
I kind of like that better than it's not that greasy.
Yeah.
I love the seasoning on top of the...
Oh, the garlic salt?
Yeah, it's so good.
That is really good. Perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. I think that the other turkey dogs that are 1 point would work just as well. I'd probably prefer to use those, but I ended up just splitting a hot dog between us. So instead of 4 points, it's just 2 points we have to track.
Sweet.
I figured since we're having the chicken sandwich too, this is a lot of food.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wraps up the recipes for today. These are some of our favorite things from takeout places.
Yeah.
Personally, the chicken sandwich, yours, soup for me, and then both of us just love the Mac Daddy calzone.
Yes.
Yeah. So this was fun to recreate these as much lower point options. I will have all of the recipes typed out in the description of this video with the point values, and I didn't say any of the nutrition, but I'll have like protein and stuff like that as well. That will be in the description. I appreciate you guys watching this and supporting my journey so much. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.